Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Every great achievement in the world, every bridge, every business, every empire, every groundbreaking invention began with something so small, so invisible that most people underestimate its power. It began with a thought. Napoleon Hill opens this book with a profound understanding. Thoughts are not merely ideas, they are forces. They shape emotions, guide decisions, and eventually solidify into resolve. When a person thinks persistently about something and attaches emotion to that thought, it becomes a magnet, pulling in the people, situation, opportunities, and even obstacle necessary for its fulfillment. Hill illustrates this thought the story of Edwin C. Barnes, who had nothing but a burning idea. He wanted to become a business partner of Thomas Edison. He had no money, no influence, no education, nothing but a thought that refuses to die. Barnes believed so strongly in this idea that he took a frightened train to Edison's office and declared his intention. Edison said later, I saw something in the expression of his face that conveyed determination. He meant what he said. The determination, backed your thought by beliefs, turned into partnership and wealth. Hill reminds us that thoughts are the beginning. They are not weak, floating fragment. They are launching point of destiny. Your dominant thoughts create your dominant reality. If you think consistently of failure, fear, poverty, and doubt, you knowingly build your life around them. If you think constantly of success, confidence, opportunities, and faith, you begin walking towards them without even noticing. This chapter ends with Hill's most powerful message. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Chapter 2, Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Desire is not hope. Desire is not wishing. Desire is not wanting. Desire, as Hills describe it, is a burning obsession, a relentless hunger, a state of mind that refuses to accept failure. Hills teaches that all successful people have one common element. They wanted something so badly that every part of their mind aligned with it. He shares the story of a young man who wanted more than anything to become Edison's partner, Edwin C. Barnes. Not his employee, but his partner. Most people would have dismissed such a dream as impossible. Barnes did not. His desire was definite, and definite desire became definite outcome. His Hills present a six-step formula for turning desire into wealth. Number one, fix in your mind that exact amount of money you desire. Clarity is power. Number two, determine what you will give in return. Nothing comes without exchange. Number three, establish a definite date of achievement. Number four, create a clear plan and begin immediately, whether ready or not. Number five, write your desire clearly and consciously. Number six, read it out loud twice daily, morning and night. This programs the subconscious mind. Hill explains that you feed your mind the same desire repeatedly, mixed with emotion, it grows into belief, and belief grows into action. Desire the first step. Without it, nothing moves. Chapter 3, Faith, the visualization of belief. Faith, Hill says, is a mental state you create with repetition. It is not a gift, not an accident, not something you either have or don't have. Faith is built, thought by thought, day by day, repetition by repetition. The subconscious mind cannot differentiate between truth and repeated thought. If you repeat negative ideas, I can't, I'm scared, I will fail, your mind accepts them. If you repeat positive affirmation, I'm capable, I'm strong, I'm successful, your mind begins to believe them. This is why Hill emphasizes autosuggestion and affirmations. They are the tools that plant seeds of faith within you. Faith magnifies desire into conviction. Conviction becomes action. Action becomes result. Hill reminds us that faith is the eternal accelerator, the force that transforms ordinary thoughts into extraordinary power. Chapter 4: Autosuggestion, Feeding the Mind. Autosuggestion is the method of influencing your subconscious thought, repeated thought, and emotion. Hill explains that the subconscious mind works 24 hours a day. It absorbs everything, good or bad, and acts upon it. If you constantly repeat your desire, visualize them, and feel as if they are already achieved, your subconscious begins to work towards them. It brings opportunities to your awareness. It sharpens your instinct, pushes you into action. It attracts the resources you need. Autosuggestion is not magic, it is mental conditioning. Just like the body becomes strong with exercise, the mind becomes powerful with repetition. Chapter 5: Specialized Knowledge. Hill explains that general knowledge is of little use in the pursuit of wealth. The world rewards specialization, focused knowledge applied to a definite purpose. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, successful entrepreneurs, each has a unique skill. Hill emphasizes that you don't need to possess all knowledge personally. You only need to know how to access it. Many successful people built empires not because they knew everything, but because they gathered teams of people who knew enough. Knowledge is potential power, but only when organized and applied. In Chapter 6: Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Everything begins with imagination. Great fortunes have been built from ideas that seem impossible at first. Hills distinguishes two types of imagination: synthetic imagination, rearranging old ideas, and creative imagination, receiving new ideas, inspirations, and insights. When desires meet imagination, plans are formed. When plans meet action, dreams materialized. Hills urges listeners to nurture imagination because it is the engine of innovation, the birthplace of opportunity. Chapter 7: Organized Planning. Every desire must be crystallized into a plan. Hill emphasizes that no plan is perfect at first. Failure simply means that plan needs adjustment. He tells listener to form a mastermind group, surround themselves with supportive people, take continuous action, revise plan when necessary, and last one, never give up. Organized planning is the bridge between thoughts and accomplishment. Chapter 8. Decision. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. Hill warns against indecision and procrastination, the two biggest enemies of progress. He teaches that decisiveness is a habit formed through practice. The world steps aside for the person who knows what they want. Chapter 9. Persistence. Persistence is the sustained effort necessary to convert desire into its physical form. Hill says the majority of people quit just inches away from success. Persistence is built from four things. Number one, purpose. Number two, desire. Number three, faith. Number four, habit. When you persist long enough, obstacles turn into stepping stones and opportunities appear. Chapter 10. The Mastermind. The mastermind is a harmonious group working towards a shared purpose. When two or more minds align in harmony, focus, trust, and unity, a new mind is formed. This collective intelligence creates ideas, energy, enthusiasm, and power, far greater than one person could create alone. No one succeeds entirely alone. Every great success has a team behind it. Chapter 11. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Hill explains that human emotion, especially sexual energy, contains power creative force. When directed towards achievement, this energy fuels imagination, discipline, ambition, and charisma. Many of history's great leaders were known for extraordinary vitality and emotional intensity. Redirecting emotional energy creates genius level results. Chapter 12. The Subconscious Mind. The subconscious mind is the connecting link between the conscious mind and the divine intelligence. It receives your repeated thoughts, fear or faith, poverty or abundance, and transforms them into reality. Hill teaches that you must constantly impress your subconscious with positive emotions and definite desires. Once influenced, your subconscious mind becomes the engine driving you towards success. Chapter 13. The Brain. The brain is both a receiver and transmitter of thoughts and frequencies. Hill explains that thoughts vibrate, and their emotional intensity determines their power. Your brain broadcasts your dominant emotions, fear or confidence, and attracts conditions that match their vibration. This is not mysticism, it is a psychology of focus and belief. Chapter 14. The Sixth Sense. This financial chapter speaks about intuition, the still small voice that guides your decisions when logic is not enough. When you master all previous principles desire, faith, imagination, persistence, planning your intuition becomes clear and accurate. It brings ideas, warnings, opportunities, and insights that guide you towards your goal. Hill calls it the door to a temple of wisdom. So, there is a final message of this book. Creatures do not respond to wishes, they respond to clarity, desire, faith, planning, persistence, and action. You can note it down somewhere in your book or somewhere where you can keep it right in front of you. Your thoughts create your reality. Your beliefs shape your decisions. Your decisions build your destiny. And your destiny begins the moment you choose a definite purpose and pursue it with unshakable persistence.